company has appeared out of nowhere like a magic trick. Poof! No pre-launch, no brand history story, no advertising, and not even their own distribution partners have seen the bike in person. But somehow, they're already asking you to pay in full, upfront, for a 72-volt speed demon that supposedly hits 52 miles an hour from a company that didn't even exist until right after eSale's collapse. It was actually my viewers who first started raising suspicious in my comments. And when I started digging, the timing, the secrecy, the missing faces, it all started smelling like one of the biggest vanishing acts in e-bike history. Is this really just a flashy new startup? Or is this the latest magic trick from the man who never actually declared bankruptcy and might just be back for round 2? It's called Magician eBikes, and the whole thing feels like it appeared in a puff of smoke. But here's where things get really weird. The website, it launched on April 2025, the exact same month David Cleveland of eSales declared bankruptcy after taking thousands of dollars in unfulfilled orders. And I'm not the only one sites eyeing this. Viewers started flooding my comments asking if this could be David's next vanishing act. Even other e-bike companies have caught wind of the suspicion. So I did what I always do. I picked up the phone, sent the emails, dig into the history, and what I found left me with serious concerns. Are we looking at a brand new tech startup, or are we staring straight at another e-bike magic trick with the same old con man behind the curtain? So what actually set off the alarm bells for me? It was you guys. Thank you so much. You started bombarding my comments, telling me mainly that the same address used on Magician's website is the same zip code as David Cleveland had in, where he lives and his operations were run at. So after I received a few of this, and then after seeing Tail Happy TV's videos, right, like raving about this bike, I knew I had to dig in. Okay, so guys, and what I found out just kept getting sketchier. So this company is already asking people to pay the full $2,100 up front for a bike that, let's be honest, basically no one has seen. There was no pre-launch, there was no buzz, no beta riders, and no transparency about who's behind it. Even their own distribution partner in Las Vegas, Alltech eBikes, told me over the phone that they even haven't seen the bike, except for one person, Tail Happy TV. He's the only reviewer who tested it, and yes, his GPS confirmed the claimed top speeds of 52 miles an hour, but he's also the only physical proof that this bike even exists. So naturally, I called. When I dialed the number listed on the site, a guy answered and said it was Alltech eBikes, and that they were handling the first and second batch, and then they didn't know what was gonna happen after that. There is no preset contract. When I asked this guy from Alltech who was behind the brand and pointed out that anyone launching a legit company should probably put their face and name on the website, he got weird. He told me he couldn't disclose that information, said it was just a bunch of investors with tech and e-bike experience. What? Guys, he started sounding nervous, and when he was telling me, it sounded to me like that's what he was told to say if anyone asked. That's when I knew something was up. Okay, so guy, I even sent them an email using my personal email address, and I got no response at all, which is interesting because David Cleveland, the man who ran eSales into the ground, definitely knows my real name. And here's the most disturbing part. The Altec rep told me they have been getting tons of phone calls about the bike, the Magician bike, but not a single person has called to ask about the company itself. And that, to me, is the core of the problem, because people get blinded by specs, by big numbers, by flashy YouTubers shouting, fastest ever, best suspensions, most fun e-bike. Hey, and by the way, no shade to Tail Happy. I trust his tests. But no one is asking the most important question. Who am I really sending my $2,200 to? And this is exactly how people keep getting burned in this industry. It's not magic, it's a vanishing act, and it's playing right in front of us, guys. If we learn something from eSales, from that whole chaos, this is it. Let's be careful. So you're telling me that just weeks before eSales collapses, this brand new, mysterious e-bike company suddenly appears out of nowhere using the same region with the same zip code through a totally untraceable set of investors and a Nevada-based distributor called Altec? Oh my gosh, that's a disappearing act followed by a reappearance wearing a new custom. Poof, eSales vanishes and Magician appears. Even one e-bike company owner told me he had heard the rumors. So guys, this is like spreading. If it sounds, there's a saying in my country, if the river sounds, it's because the river is carrying water. Guys, there are just too many coincidences that are impossible for me to ignore. That's why I'm here. I have to warn you, okay? Please do not buy from this company, at least not yet. I'm gonna tell you something that I haven't told anyone else, or at least in my videos, I have not disclosed this yet. At the time, it felt innocent, but now, not anymore. It pertains to this, okay? So if you have been watching my channel, I did right after David Cleveland declared his fake bankruptcy. I made a tribute video, not to him, but to his company, because I really believed in this company. I really believed in the e-bikes he had been selling for almost 10 years, right? And he had treated me right. I did a lot of videos with him and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, he had been dodging my phone calls when he declared bankruptcy, even like right before that, when he started posting on Facebook that he was going out of business, no more new orders, like all of that. I started calling and texting him immediately, completely dodging my nothing, right? Crickets on the other side. But as soon as I posted that video, and obviously it was a very positive video for eSales and him, now he starts calling me back, of course. So when we finally got on the phone, he had been telling me he had been busy talking to investors, okay? He had meetings with investors, this and that, and it was hard for him to find the time to talk with me. But he finally did. And he was very grateful and very nice. And in a moment, guys, when he let his guard down, this is exactly what slipped out of his tongue. Because I was like, oh no, eSales is gone, I can't believe it. And then he said, well, I'm talking to investors, I might come back. Who knows? Guys, come on. I mean, to me, that phrase right there, investors. And then, of course, now we know, thanks to all the deep research that I did, he didn't declare bankruptcy. So he has all this money. He has all this money from unfulfilled orders that he stole from you guys. thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And now all this secrecy with Magician, with the same zip code, in the same state where David Cleveland is. Guys, and then a rep that told me that he couldn't disclose any more information and got nervous and suspicious with me on the phone. And then he said, if you need to know anything else about Magician, just email them. They'll reply to you. Their email is on their website. And then when I did, crickets, because David knows my name. Because with the Alltech guy, I was pretending to be a shopper. I was pretending I was a customer. I was like, hey, this bike looks sick. I'm very interested in placing an order, doing the whole thing. But before I drop all of this money, who's behind the brand? Who's gonna give me a warranty? What's the customer support like? The guy had no idea, guys. But he kept repeating, I'm not allowed to disclose that. I'm not allowed to disclose that. And when I said well, if it was me, opening a company, I would be so proud and transparent. I would put my name, I would put my face on the website, everything. And he was like, it's just because it's a bunch of investors. And then when I repeated, it's just a bunch of investors, then he said, yes, but they do have a lot of experience in the e-bike industry. Who has a lot of experience in the e-bike industry? David Cleveland. Let's talk about how this bike is being sold, because this is where the red flags turn blood red. The Magician e-bike is sold exclusively through a basic, faceless website with spelling mistakes that launched in April, the same month eSales declared bankruptcy. There was no soft launch, no press coverage, even no influencer teasers, just a sudden magical appearance and a big shiny buy now button asking for the full $2,100 up front. That's right, this is a pre-sale and you're expected to drop over $2,000 on a bike that, for one, has no real company information listed, offers zero customer protections other than what it's supposedly saying on the website, has no published warranty or return policy, and comes from a brand that no one has ever heard of. And if you dig around the site, still nothing. No owner, no address, just a couple buzzwords and bold claims written in perfectly polished English. Yes, now I've been finding some typos and grammatical weirdness. So it's just the kind of, you can tell they have marketing experience and money put together, but it sounds like someone who has done this before. eSales was full of spelling mistakes and grammatical weirdness. Okay, so they're taking full payments for bikes that haven't even shipped, haven't been reviewed by anyone except for Tail Happy TV, and haven't even seen in person by their own distribution center. This is wild. Okay, so, and then the only two pieces of information that the website has as far as address, they're listing the two addresses of their distribution partners. So one in Las Vegas and one somewhere in California. But these people that distribute Alltech, they have been in the distribution business for years and they work for a lot of e-bike companies, okay? So, and then I'm thinking, I haven't called the one in California, but I'm thinking it's the same thing. And then the only phone number listed is for Alltech. And this guy had no idea about the bike. He can't provide you customer support or give you any real information on the bike other than what you see on the website. So, oh my gosh. If you've been watching my channel, you already know what I'm going to say next. That's a classic pre-order trap. And they're urging you to buy now because the prices are gonna be going up and they're already sold out of their first batch and all this pressure to give them your money. Guys, we don't even know if these bikes are even made yet. They could be recollecting your money to make your own bikes and then just push the shipping dates. So they started with a shipping date of August and now they're saying September. And the next thing you know, it's gonna be October and then November and then December and then 2026. I I have seen this play over and over and over again in the industry, okay? So I don't care how flashy the specs are. I don't care if this bike can go 60 or 70 miles an hour, just to sort of speak. If you don't know who's behind the brand and you're wiring them thousands of dollars for a bike you haven't seen, that's not excitement. That's a true gamble. This is the kind of vanishing act the industry is becoming known for. Bold claims, no faces, and your money disappears before the bike ever shows up, and after you can put a chargeback on your credit card because the 45 days for the chargeback are up. It's a brilliant scam, you know? And then if you don't even know if the bike's gonna even show up at all. Guys, be careful. Now let's talk about the actual specs of this Magician e-bike. So we're talking a 72 volt system, 5,000 watts of peak power with single motor, 180 Newton meters of torque, and a claimed top speed of 52 miles an hour. All for an introductory price of $2,100, which is crazy, okay? Crazy good. But I mean, Tail happy that he did confirm those speeds on GPS. So yeah, so the performance is real, seems real, right? But here is where it gets weird again. Despite Magician being a brand new company, this frame looks incredibly well made. I mean, we're talking top-notch engineering, reinforced tubing, solid welds, and a geometry that isn't typical for a sketchy startup. It looks like someone with serious experience designed this thing. And the spec sheet, it looks like someone took the old ESOS formula and tweaked it just enough to fly under the radar. Okay, so what I mean is they switched from dual motors to a single motor. They swapped Tektro brakes. I'll put it up on the screen. I believe they are the Star Union brakes. I can't remember if they're the Star Union or the Gemma brakes. Okay, so they changed the suspension components. They dropped the fat high-step cruiser look and went with something sleeker, but still aggressive, still extremely powerful, right? The same formula as they used in the Monster, right? That Monster got up to 50, 51 miles an hour. So it's like they studied what worked before and then built something even flashier while still staying far enough away from a direct copy to avoid suspicion. The question isn't whether the bike is fast or well-designed or well-made. The question feels, why does it feel like a remix of an old playbook? Because that's what scammers do. They reinvent the same magic trick, hoping you won't notice they're using the same cards. Guys, so the real problem isn't just this one bike, okay? So let's just zoom out for a second. Because whether or not this bike is connected to David Cleveland, the bigger issue here is that no one is asking questions. I called the number on the Magician website. I spoke with a man who said he was with Alltech, a Las Vegas-based distribution center. And when I asked who's behind this company, his whole tone changed. He said, I can't disclose that. It's just investors. They're very experienced in the tech and e-bike space. He said that too. But that's not good enough. Because here's the thing. This is a brand new company with no name, no face, and no history asking for $2,100 up front for a bike that doesn't exist yet. They have no social media, no YouTube channel even, no press coverage, and the only person who's seen the bike is Tail Happy TV, who I generally respect. But that still doesn't make the company legitimate. When I emailed them from my personal account, I got nothing, not even an auto reply. And what really shocked me is that the Alltech guy told me that people were calling nonstop about the bike, but not the company. Come on. That's a real problem here. We're living in a time in e-bike history where e-bike customers are so hungry for power, speed, flashy specs and crazy value, they don't stop to ask basic questions like, who's actually making this thing? What happens if something goes wrong? Will I be able to get parts? Is this company even real? It's like people are falling for the same act over and over and over again, chasing magic and ending up empty-handed. And that's how so many people are getting scammed, burned, or left with broken bikes and no one to call. Listen, I'm not here to tell you what to buy. If you want to drop over $2,000 on a mystery bag that magically appeared out of thin air, go right ahead. Maybe it'll show up. Maybe it'll even work. Who knows? And if it does, is it gonna be months from now? I don't believe the August or September thing. I've seen so many promises broken. So, but please don't say no one warned you, because I've been in this industry long enough to spot the red flags. And this one is not just a red flag, it's a full-blown magic show with smoke, mirrors, and a disappearing act ready to happen. No transparency, no clear leadership, no long-term track record, just a flashy website, wild specs, and a checkout button. And if we didn't learn anything from the eSouls fiasco, I don't know what to tell you. Because here's the truth. I was one of the people who defended that brand, eSouls. I believed in it, I promoted it, and then I watched it crumble, taking customer money, trust, and dreams right down with it. That's why I speak up now. That's why I dig deep. That's why I won't just sit here quietly while history starts to repeat itself. So here's my message to you. Do your homework. Ask the hard questions. Be skeptical, especially when something feels too good to be true. And stop getting blinded by flashy numbers and influencer hype. Because the real magic trick isn't in the specs. It's in how easily people are getting fooled. Guys, call that number, talk to the all-tech company, see what they say. Email that, I think it's info@magician.com or something. I'll put it up on the screen. Email them, see if they even reply. Guys, huge red flags right there. Okay, so, and personally, I would tell you to stay as far away from this company as possible. At the very least, wait until they prove themselves to be a legitimate and reputable brand that actually delivers what it promises. All right, guys, I have the Magician website pulled right now, just so you can see it, okay? So this is not the homepage. This is like, I think when you like hit on the eBike page, okay? So this is the Magician step over. This is new. I hadn't seen this little paragraph before, but I'm gonna read it to you now. This is what it says. Okay, it's discounted from $2,599 to $2,099, $2,100. Saves 19%, okay? Check this out, guys. First batch alpha step over have been sold out instead of has been sold out, right? For all step over bikes placed before July 20th, the delivery time will be at early September. That is not the way you say it. The delivery time will be in early September, okay? And it says, and we hear you, little line, we are now add the new color gloss lime green. Instead of saying, we have now added the new color gloss lime green, okay? It's a mess, this paragraph. Delivery time of the new color will be at early September too. Guys, I haven't even dug in the rest of the website to see what other typos and grammatical errors and like, and we know David had horrible grammatical and spelling. So I don't, even if this wasn't connected to David, just that, I mean, you can't even like double check that your website is not perfect, even hire a professional to like triple check that everything is well said in proper English. Big, I'm sorry guys, but big red flag. And this number that you see up here, this is not for the company. This is for the Alltech eBikes distribution center, guys. This company doesn't have a legit address or phone number or email because they're not even answering their email. Bad, 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 guys. Screams scam right here. If this video helped you spot the red flags, please smash that like button before and subscribe to my channel because I am not even close to done in exposing the shady stuff that is going on all around our beloved e-bike industry. Guys, thank you so much for coming along to another one of my videos. Please leave all your comments down below. I love hearing from you, keeping the discussion alive and everything. I will be seeing you very soon, back for another banger video. Always remember, whatever you're doing, happy riding! Stay safe.